Girls of Reddit, what is an unspoken rule of girl code?
Lipstick on their teeth, eyeliner in the corner of their eye, skirt tucked into pantyhose. You let them know without making a huge deal about it.
When I was in college, I was walking uphill to class from my apartment with about a dozen people walking behind me. A girl suddenly appeared and pulled me aside, and before she even opened her mouth, I was like, "Is my dress tucked into my tights?" She nods. I try to laugh it off while untucking my skirt and wishing the earth would open up and swallow me whole, and we continue on our way. The same thing happened again later that same day.
Oof, dunno if it's any consolation, but there was one day I was caught with my fly open. 7 times. In a single day. It wasn't until I got home that I finally realized I wasn't just absent-mindedly unzipping my pants. It was broken the whole time.
I walked out of my woodshop class, only girl in the class, confused why boys were laughing. Walked through the whole school to my bus with people laughing, for a little year 7, 11 years old, to run over to me and pull my skirt down because it was caught in my jumper. No a single other person thought to tell me my knickers were on show. Always do this. Please.
Yes. A female bus driver in my city once honked at me and made me enter through the front door when I was getting on, and I was all confused, but then she motions me to come close and whispers that my dress was tucked into my tights in the back. I nearly died lol, but was so thankful for that woman.
I was walking recently and a woman stopped me, told me, "Hold still," unbunched my dress which was snagged on my messenger bag, distractedly said, "There you go," and just walked off. I was bemused and charmed by the whole thing. She had a young kid in a pushchair, so I think she was in full-on mom mode. If you get breast cancer, let as many people as possible feel your lump so they know what they are looking for. Before my mastectomy, my breast made a lot of new friends. Early detection can mean the difference between life and death.
In February, I was diagnosed with oral cancer, base of tongue. Before surgery I had my teeth cleaned. I had the dentist feel the lump so he would know. Oral cancer screening is common practice during dental exams, but they generally don't check that far back. I had surgery, chemo plus radiation, and am currently clear of any signs of cancer.
I didn't have cancer but did have a benign tumor in my breast. I let all my friends feel that thing. It was morbidly kinda fun to mess with, honestly. I also met a girl at a party who had the same thing, so we both whipped out our boobs and felt each other's lumps. Good times.
If another girl comes over to you and pretends to know you, no questions asked. We've been friends for 30 years and haven't seen each other in 5. And always give a tampon if you have one, and someone needs one. Edit, never lend tampons, always give.
Even as a guy, I've had the former happen twice before with a girl in a store. Randomly walked up to me asking to pretend to know them because they were being followed. I just grabbed their hand and said something to the effect of, "Did you find what you were looking for, babe?" In both instances the creep just took off. People are fucking disgusting, I swear. Don't be afraid to ask guys either if there aren't any girls around. We don't mind either. Edit, to everyone calling me a hero, etc., please don't. I expect most people would do the same. Also, if anyone feels the need to buy any more comment rewards for me, go donate that shit to www.teamtrees.org instead.
I had this happen at a national park. I was waiting in the lodge for my wife to do something, and this young girl, 15 years younger at least, but I look young, came up and asked me to pretend I was her boyfriend. So I asked her fairly loudly, "Hey, there you are. So what hike do you want to do today, babe? Hike 1, hike 2, or hike 3? Rattled off the names of 3 hikes I was considering. Just then I saw the creep come around the corner, and man was he creepy. He looked like he wanted to kill me, and then he left when he saw us together and that I was staring at him. She was so thankful. Then she left right before my wife came back and I told her the story.
I have been the girl in a similar situation, 16 years old on a wilderness cabin trip with family but wanted to explore by myself because why not? Adventure. And I was absolutely loving it, until I noticed this creepy guy slowly starting to follow, then talking to me and finally velcroing himself to me. Where did he even come from? I'll never know at this point. I was walking faster and faster but he kept up. Came to a clearing with some cabins. Completely panicking inwardly at this point. Saw a guy outside one of the cabins, and walked briskly towards him. He must have seen the panic in my eyes because he didn't even blink. Just launched straight into this routine. "Where have you been? We were worried. The food is waiting. Get inside." The creepy guy just slinked away. That man not only covered for me but he and his wife took me into their cabin and just generally took care of me until they were sure the creep was gone and everything was okay. They even fed me soup. I am eternally grateful to that man and his wife. And to you, and every other helper out there. Thank you. If friend drinks too much and starts to puke, always hold her hair back for her.
I don't know how you guys do it. I dressed as Fat Thor to London MCM Comic Con last weekend, and that wig was in my face all day. I couldn't look anywhere without it getting in my mouth. I looked down, mouth. Moved my head too quickly, mouth. I've always toyed with the idea of growing my hair out. That experience has made me want to keep my hair as short as possible, lol.
Long-haired dude here. There is an awkward length, which that must have been. It's when your hair is long enough to get places you don't want it, but not long enough to have the weight to hold itself in place. This lasts for maybe a month in my experience.
If she's dating a known abuser, take turns getting her out of the house. Play cards, shop for shoes, ask her to help you lay out the garden, make pie. Never broach the subject yourself, just make sure she knows she's welcome anytime, day or night, with or without advance notice.
I've been going through this with a friend and I've learned that always focusing on the good, her value, her skills, loving on her, and also telling her the truth, nicely, when they ask for advice about their relationship has really helped her a lot as she slowly tries to leave.
Also calling out behavior in a light manner when they're talking about it, to reinforce abnormality or problematic behaviors. He totally threw a fit when I tried to wear a miniskirt the other day, haha, men, right? OMG, no way would I be okay with that. IDK, how you put up with it. I've never had a boyfriend try to control what I wear, it would drive me crazy. Sometimes they test the waters to see if something that bothered them is normal, and if you laugh it off or brush it off it only makes it seem okay.
If there's a red spot on her pants you tell her discreetly and immediately. Edit, a lot of guys are asking what to do if they see a woman with a blood stain. You have two options. You could tell her yourself, which may or may not be appreciated depending on the woman. Or you could simply ask another woman to tell her. I love how many guys wanna help look out for the ladies who end up in this predicament. Laughing face.
My so-called friends didn't tell me I'd bled into my khaki pants in grade 10. It took a little girl on the bus home asking me what I'd Saturday in for me to realize, I was so upset.
Dude here. I asked a girl I had a crush on in 7th grade if she sat in ketchup. Didn't realize what the real deal was for weeks and weeks afterward. Still one of the most horrifying memories for the both of us.
It might be a sniper's laser sight. Edit, thanks for the awards guys, I feel validated.
It doesn't matter if you two are mortal enemies, it's girl code.
If you walk into the bathroom and the girl in there is being quiet, you do your business and leave as quickly as you can. Girl is trying to poop.
And if you need to do something like some makeup or fix a contact lens, run the tap. Or activate the air dryer. Give her some noise to hide behind. But mainly get out of there ASAP. Edit, I've been waiting for the wasting resources people to turn up. I'm talking a quick run of the tap and blast of the air dryer, not 30-minute marathons. Thanks for the DMs too.
If your friend gets back with her shitty ex, you always support your friend, but you also tell her the truth and say if the relationship is toxic.
No matter how many times, SMDH. And the older you get, you learn not to vent your full opinion on him immediately after the breakup because they will probably get back together and she will resent what you said and you because of cognitive dissonance.
I lost a friend because of this, but oh well, good luck to her and her rollercoaster ride of a relationship.
You help other women who seem to be in trouble. When I was a teenager, my mum and I went to Walmart to get groceries. We split up to save time and a man started stalking me through the aisles. I finally got out to a main area and saw a lady with 2 kids. Walked right up to her and stood as close as possible. She was confused, but when I made a motion at the guy, she understood. She loudly thanked me for getting the milk and called me honey. Also referred to her son as my brother. Once the guy left, she stayed with me until I saw my mum, and then stayed where she was until I got to my mum and motioned that I was okay. That lady deserves an award for helping me that day.
I'll always remember this video from when I was a kid that said if you are separated from your parents somewhere in public to look for a grandma or mother with children.
That's what I've taught my spawn. Look for a mom or dad with kids. Because they will stop and help you out. Even if it's finding the right trusted adult to take over. Kids can't tell uniforms apart.
Or maybe it's a kidnapper having the best day of his life. These kids just keep voluntarily coming with me.
This one especially applies to college girls. If you're at a party and you see a girl doing something she might regret the next day due to drinking way too much, you go over there and make sure she's okay.
And watch the drinks, if you can, make sure nothing gets accidentally slipped in them.
Holy shit, you just reminded me of a time in college I was drinking at a frat house party and they had a pre-made punch with vodka. I drank at least 4 of them and don't remember anything else. I woke up the next morning in a dorm room with a girl sleeping in the other bed and one on the floor that I only barely knew. Turns out the vodka was actually Everclear, and one of the frat guys was trying to drag me up to his room when a couple girls saw and took me to their room. Really grateful for them.
Always give each other tampons and pads when needed.
Even if you hate that bitch. Yes, even if you hate that bitch. You only get to bleed openly when I hit you, bitch. Till then, here's a tampon.
No women left behind at the club. You look out for and take care of your girls and don't let random men drag them away without their explicit permission.
I was at a wedding. I'd been to the hen do and met the groom's sister, bit shy, but sweet, was on the dance floor, dancing with friends. This guy came over to me, very drunk, dancing very energetically, enthusiastically, and could have been interpreted as aggressively, towards me. The groom's sister, shy as she was, pulled me aside to check if I was okay and if I knew this guy. I had to explain to her he was my husband and just a happy dancing drunk. Love to her though.
After a few drinks, every girl in the bathroom is your best friend.
How many blurry mirror selfies do I have of myself and groups of girls I don't remember the names of and will never see again? To each of them, I hope you are thriving.
Dudes do this at bars and clubs too, tbh. As a drunk guy, every other guy is either looking to fight or is your new best friend, zero in between. Edit. For first-hand reference, last weekend I broke up a fight in a bathroom line. The weekend before that, some stranger bought me a drink after we waited in line together and chatted.
Quite true. One late night hitting the bars in Stockholm, I met 2 Irish dudes. One asked me, "Do you want to fight?" When I said, "No thanks," he gave me his scarf. It was an awesome finely knitted scarf. Unfortunately I don't have it anymore, as I gave it to another dude who looked like he was freezing.
And so began the story of the legendary scarf, giving to brothers in need generation after generation.
If you're wearing a hair tie on your wrist and someone asks for a hair tie, you give it to them, and accept that you likely will never see it again.
Unless it's your last one though, right? Only a saint bikes home in the wind without her last hair tie for drunken fools. Although I'll give up my last hair tie if she's got an immediate, interpersonal sexy reason to need it.
Haha, like if she's like, "Quick. I need a hair tie. I've got a blowjob appointment now." If it's in your hair, no, you don't give it up. If it's on your wrist, yes, but you can say, "Oh, it's my only one." And usually another girl will pipe up, "Oh, I've got one." So you wouldn't have to.
Person 1, I like your dress. Person 2, thanks. It has pockets. Less than displays said pockets greater than. If your dress has pockets, you let them know.
And let them know where you got said pocketed dress. Same goes for items that you got on sale. "Oh, that's a cute top. Thanks. It was on sale."
My grandma once lectured me that I should never explain how much something cost after I told someone my shirt was clearance from Old Navy. Fuck that. If I find a good deal, I'm bragging about it.
This is very helpful. As an autistic person who doesn't understand unspoken rules, it's very helpful to have posts like this where they're all written.
I am autistic, and I read unspoken rules threads for the same reason.